Hey everyone, today I'm joined by Nick Bennett. Nick is a positioning and offer design strategist for solo consultants and micro agencies. He is the co founder of Duo Consulting, which is a content and consulting studio that helps small service firms go from like 20K to 65K a month by standardizing, scaling their offers. He also co-authors many books now, as you'll hear in the episode, and co-hosts the How Solos Scale podcast with Erica Schneider. I wanted to have Nick on as a return guest because refining offers, messaging, and market access is critical for agency owners who want to scale without sacrificing quality or burnout. And quite simply, he's a friend, and I get to choose who I have on the show. So in this episode, we discuss why audience access matters more than niche, how to build credibility without underpricing yourself, the glide path versus guillotine method for repositioning, and more. No one was asking for another community, but I've made one anyway. So what's different? The dynamic agency community is designed around access rather than content. Access to peers who've done it before. Access to experts who've designed solutions. Access to resources that have been battle tested. And right now, the price for founding members is only $97 a year. Join today so your agency has immediate access to everything you need to grow. You can join at dynamicagency.community. And now, please welcome back Nick Bennett. It's easier than ever to start an agency, but it's only getting harder to stand out and keep it alive. Join me as we explore the strategies agencies are using today to secure a better tomorrow. This is Agency Forward. What's new with you?
Yeah, are we in it?
Oh,
Has it started?
Yeah, we are.
This is it.
We're live.
Welcome to Agency Forward.
You got the music going in my head. I actually went back and listened to some of my episodes today because I'm like caught up on most of the other podcasts I've been listening to, and I just wanted to re-listen and be like, where should I actually improve conversations and stuff? Like, how can I get better at this? And it was like, man, some of these are pretty good. Like this, like, all right,
this Chris guy's onto something. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Yeah. Listening, editing your own show will do that to you.
Yeah. But here's when I edit, I don't even listen to it all. I just look for I look at the
transcript and
the audio, like little waves and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking for like breaks in those and like just reorganizing that way. And then,
all right. Anyway, I agonized when I edited the first like dozen episodes of 1000 Routes. I agonized over the sentences and all the fillers and the ums and ahs and likes and and cutting like those out, making them feel nice and there's like a lot of run-on sentences. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this sentence said nothing for 30 seconds. Let's just cut that out. And I was like, I'm agonizing over this, but it really shows you what goes into making a podcast sound good.
Yep. But yeah, I don't do any of that. I just, unless someone says something they shouldn't, which is usually when they bring up a client that they didn't enjoy working with. And then they're like, yeah, we should actually pull that. It's like, yeah, okay, let's do that.
Yeah. I always hear Jay Acunzo's statement rattling around my head when I think about podcasts. He goes, I think you should cook your chicken and I think you should edit your podcast. And I'm like, okay. Like, it's like, these are just truths. Like you should edit your podcast. It's like, okay, that's what I will do. Makes sense to me.
Not all Joe Rogan, right? Sit down, just have a conversation and see where it goes. But
maybe we will. Maybe we're here.
Who knows?
We're doing it right now.
I'm at like 0.5% of the potential viewers he has. Probably less than that, actually.
All 10 viewers. Hey, but those 10 people, they care.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about today.
Yeah, let's. So I want to just brainstorming. One, I want to hear about what you're doing with solos right now and some of the things that you've been seeing. But I also want to talk the recognition engine, and because I feel like that's something valuable for everybody.
It is. It's new.
So yeah, wherever you want to start.
Today.
Yeah, that's where I saw the newsletter came out and gave it a read.
It's a long one.
Yeah.
I think we're pushing, so we're trying to do 6,000 words ish. We're really trying to go mini book, less newsletter, more mini book.
Yep. It's a good idea. That's the category pirates approach.
It is. We're working with Katrina Kirsch of Category Pirates to do this. So shout out to Katrina. She's absolutely amazing and helps untangle the madness that is all the stuff Erica and I think all day.
Yeah. So the playbook is essentially find a problem that people are having, create the guide on it, and then put that out to promote everything else you're doing.
Yeah. The mini book approach has been basically mapped out the book. And we said, well, what's the book? What would the book look like? And then we said, okay, great. Let's write it one chapter at a time. Basically, like a 6,000 word chapter, but like, let's write it like one chunk at a time. And we want to set this up. The strategy is simple. Write a book that never ends. Give people something to read. Like, people can buy a book that never ends. And then at some point we'll bind them together and print a book, like a hardcover or whatever. It's like a physical book. And we'll mail it to like the 7 people who want it, but I will have a book with my name on it, which will be really cool. And Erica and Katrina's name will also be on it, but that's the plan. That's the plan right now. So we know what we want to talk about. It's just all of the nitty gritty details we work out in our like weekly jam sessions. We're like, okay, like how do we press each other on ideas that they say we exhaust easy thinking, and you kind of hit the end of the line with some of the basic assumptions or like frameworks that you have. And you're like, but what about this edge case? What happens when it bends? What happens when it starts to crack? And you get to work out all those ideas. So it's not that it's bulletproof, but it makes a whole hell of a lot more sense after you go through that process than it does in a LinkedIn post.
Yeah, definitely. Piece of advice I'd gotten from someone years ago was pick the book you want to write, outline like what chapters need to go in, essentially like build your table of contents, but then go about just living the book. Like, you know what the chapter is coming up. So like figure out what's going to go in here, but then go run your tests, talk to the people you need to, like do all of the things so that you can then create that chapter, move on to the next. And it sounds like you guys are taking a similar approach, just publishing as you go.
Yeah. I mean, we have a general direction. I will say we've already reorganized like multiple times. So the first book was always going to be the recognition gap. And we wrote that. And then we realized we thought the part of the recognition gap was the MP3 framework, right? Our lens on content marketing, content strategy for solos and micro agencies. We said, all right, this is part of it. And the more we wrote it, we realized we're like, this is not the framework that goes here. The framework that goes here, we made a new one, the CP3 framework. And so that was like our whole clarification process. And then we ended up moving MP3, market the problem, market the process, market the proof. We moved that to what has now become the recognition engine. So how do you close the gap? There's a recognition engine. There's the whole, we have the content marketing approach. And we put a bunch of examples in there to help demonstrate what that looks like. And then the next book, we said, okay, the next book is going to be, was supposed to be Elevate the Problem. And how to find problems we're solving, or how to turn a problem like a ho-hum problem, that cheap problems into expensive problems, things like that. And the more we wrote it, we were like, no, this isn't it. This belongs somewhere inside of another chapter, inside of another mini book, but this is not the mini book.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't deserve its own, a whole 6,000 words on this one idea. There might be, we don't know where we're going to place it yet, but I think that's kind of part of the process. Is you get into stuff and you go, not here, but somewhere else. And we had to reorganize. And now we're going into like our standardize, automate, delegate approach, and kind of blow that thing wide open and make that as like structured as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's even so with my own business, like I'm continuously just tweaking things to be like, well, actually, if I did this first, I bet I'd get a better result.
That's
like
the game.
We started doing like the snap offer has always been part of the program, but now I'm opening with that. And because by the time if we can actually like attract some leads early, by the time we finish your offer, you have something to now sell them and stuff. So it's like, it flows better into each other. And so, yeah, it's crazy.
What a concept.
Yeah, weird.
Weird. Well, people don't do that though. Like,
Yeah.
why don't I have my theories as to why I think people don't do it. I'm curious, like from what you see too. It's like the whole like like the tinkering and the dialing and the fine tuning. That process is almost as important as the 30,000-foot
Mhm.
view or like the structure of the entire engagement model. And I don't get why people think it's like, let's launch perfection. And like, you don't just, improve the sculpture after you put it in a museum. And it's like,
Right.
wrong mindset, dude.
Yeah. I think so. We have a tendency within our population to be like when people change opinions, that it's like it's seen as a negative
Blasphemy.
thing. But it's like,
You
I mean, you see politicians all the time, right? Once you pick a stance, you got to stick with it. Otherwise, you're not getting votes for the next election. But
yeah,
in
you can't
reality, it's
just
like,
learn something new.
right. Like you just got new information that you didn't have before. I want you to change your opinion if it makes sense.
Good news, this is marketing, not politics. So the
Right.
stakes are very low.
Yeah. But so I'm wondering if how much the people are still doing that. Like they feel like they're going to lose credibility with their system if they have to change the system. But it's like, I would respect someone who says, hey, I learned all these things by running the system with 20 different clients. Here's how I tweaked it in order to make it better. Like,
So this is like the whole aha, and that's like not to like continue shamelessly plugging the recognition engine, but I make this case as like the opening of that mini book about my own shift. Like I saw something, I learned something, and I shifted from what I called niche design, like just really hard pressing the niche down or the inability to niche down problem to the inability to create an offer problem. And no one was like, oh, how could you shift? Like your credibility is gone. Like Erica, living, breathing proof of this. She like this pivot in public thing is people are like cheering you on when you learn shit
yeah.
and you change what you're doing because of what you've learned and you acquire new skills. Like this is a total limiting belief that people have that you can never change anything about what you're doing. Or that you can be successful doing fewer things. That's the other thing is I saw something the other day that a woman said in this like Slack group of men. She was like, I've built my business being really flexible and like build out all these different services based on like what clients need. And I feel like that's been really successful. It's like, but I also struggle to generate leads and like acquire clients at like a regular, more reliable, in a more reliable way. It's like, well, like this limiting belief that you have that you can't just like pick a thing is the thing that's like holding you back, or that this fear of what are other people going to think of me when I change what I'm doing. That's the only thing that prevents you from being successful, not the actual thing you're doing, not I don't do websites anymore and I do this other thing and I do homepage wireframes or I do whatever, like that. No one cares about any of that stuff. As long as you're good at what you do and you make a difference for other people, that's the only thing that matters.
Yep. I feel you. There's also, so there's a framework that I use for the amount that we need to change as well. And I feel like, so I'll just go into it first. So we either optimize, iterate, or pivot. And because there are different levels of change required at times. So if we want like a 50% or greater lift on whatever we're working on, we need a pivot, right? We can just throw things out and start over. It's okay. 25 to 50% is iterating, 25 or less is optimizing. And essentially the philosophy behind this is like, if we have a landing page that's working and we're like, yeah, this is pretty good. It's like, we don't want to go change everything on the landing page because you will inevitably break things that are working right now. You want to do small tweaks, just like miniature refinements throughout this versus iterating. It's like, yeah, we can change some bigger. Maybe we swap out the entire like masthead of the site. But I found within your business, you can do the same approach. And I've started doing this with clients who aren't seeing results right away. It's like, let's actually look at your audience, the problem and solution, and decide which of those do we feel is the biggest bottleneck for what we're working on. Now, with that, do we need to optimize, iterate, or pivot? And so we get really specific on what level of changes we need to do in each area of their kind of niching and positioning. And it just gives this unlock like, oh, that's what we need to fix. And you said something in there that got me on that track. And so
No, I like it. So I have found, I like that you break it down: audience, solution, and problem.
Problem. Yep.
I like this breakdown because in my experience, like, it runs the gamut as to why people struggle to gain the traction that they're looking for. But I always find that the it usually comes down to audience access.
Yes.
Like, you could have the best problem in the world and the best, most like well-defined solution, engagement model, the whole nine. If you have zero access to the audience you're trying to sell to, I don't care if you have to go out to networking events to find them, or you can post on LinkedIn, or you can do whatever. Doesn't matter. If you don't have access, you got nothing.
Yep. Yeah. I think we had that conversation last year. I don't know if it was on a podcast or just us talking, but just the idea of market access being one of those initial things. Like, yeah, we've kind of decided on an audience. We know what problem they have. Now, do we actually have access to these people to put the right message in front of them?
Yep.
And yeah, I've started looking at it is an obvious challenge with a majority of the people that come to me. And it's like, yeah, we want to work with these people. And it's like, okay, who do you know within that space? It's like,
can you get a phone call within 24 hours? Can you get on the phone with somebody?
Mm-hmm. It's like, or do you know someone who can further, like, can make those introductions to you, right? Like a door opener to be able to just get access. Like, if you don't know anyone here, you're fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah, there's an approach we take called glide path, not guillotine. Right, glide path. You sell into tech companies today, and you want to start selling into manufacturing companies. We don't guillotine this thing and say we are now the web design firm for manufacturing companies. Like, we slowly fade the business, right? We slowly shift, like rotate through clients. All like new client acquisition, maybe 80% are still whatever tech companies. The 20% we're trying to bring in manufacturing companies. Like, as some fall off, maybe we don't backfill tech companies. Like, there are a bunch of different things, but you don't just guillotine your entire business.
Right.
This has been just that phrasing has helped people see that it is not so finite, or it's not so ultimate. They're like, okay, the second I do this, I either make it work or we go get a job or we go out of business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's even with position, like the fear of, well, if I do all this with my positioning, means I have to say no to everyone else. And it's like, as soon as I let my clients know, they're like, no, you can actually accept anybody.
Yeah.
Right. We're just going to get really targeted in our messaging. And so, like, hopefully we're only attracting the people we want to work with. But like, if it's between you keeping the lights on and like paying your team, you can take on any client. Like, you just make it a deliberate choice, not a, like, yeah, we
habitual. Yeah. You don't just habitually accept any client. Like, you get to look at someone and go, you're not going to be a good fit. Like, our ability to help you become successful is less than with this other group.
Right.
And then you make the decision. The other part is that people take on clients they hate, and then they're like being business sucks. I hate business. Yeah. Or they dread Tuesdays at 2:00 because they have to go meet with a client they hate. One of the greatest things I've ever done is just accepted the fact that I can't help everyone. And I don't think enough agencies live in that space. Is like they will overstay their welcome in an engagement that no longer serves them, or the client doesn't want to be there anymore. Yeah. And for what? Because they have a fucking 6-month contract with them. Like, it's made up. Just, you can just not work with somebody.
Yep. I don't. Tell me if this is true for you as well. Where it's like, at first you're like, okay, can I or can't I help this person? And, or even like somewhere in the spectrum between, but you're looking at the situation that they're in versus as you like start to mature within whatever your offering is, being able to say like, I just can't help this person because of the way they're thinking. These like internal values that they have are what's like, they have the exact problem I solve for, but like, I don't know that I can get them a result because of who they are. Are you seeing that at all? Because I am.
Yeah, 100%. Like, a number one indicator of our ability to be successful with a client is, do they have a point of view?
Mm-hmm.
So even if you have the money to afford our fee and you have the motivation to put in the work, if you don't know what you think, I have tried to give too many clients a point of view. I'm like, hey, here's the angle, right? Here's the whole thing. It doesn't work because they don't internalize it. They don't believe it. It's not theirs. You cannot give somebody a set of a point of view. You can help them uncover their own. You can help them more clearly articulate their own point of view, but you cannot give someone a point of view.
Yep.
And the point of view is your bite into the market, right? That's the whole thing. And if you don't know what you think, or you don't have any opinions at all about it, we find that those are the most difficult engagements for us. And so we screen for that now. And we have to, sometimes if it doesn't work out, we have to like part ways with somebody. And we've like learned over time being like, okay, we realize that this is a through line. This is an indicator. So let's screen for that on the front end. What do they think about their market or their space or their category or the problem that they're solving for? Like, let's just get any rough idea here. Do you care a lot? And that's just been a huge unlock for us to be able to screen in the right people, even if they have all the other boxes checked, because that's the number one indicator of success that we have found in our model.
Yeah. Well, and that one's only going to get more important as more people flock to AI to create their beliefs. It's like the person who already has their own beliefs based on their own experiences, and they have reasons for everything. They can talk about it because they've lived it, not because they read about it somewhere. Yeah, it gives you a complete edge.
And I find that like when we give people a point of view, to your exact point, like they don't internalize it, they'll say something different every time. And it's like, well, they're kind of like, we might be all over the place. We might be like communicating a different point of view to everyone that we talk to or in our content. And yeah, AI, like, yes, the whole AI is commoditizing the information that lives between your ears, like everything. It's like, yeah, what you think and believe about the space that you work in matters a whole lot more than most people think. There's a really simple example of this. There's another guy out there that creates offers for solopreneurs, and like, so in a traditional world, people would look at that and go, well, I'll even name him. I don't care. Jay's a friend. Jay Malone. He does offers. There's no reason to not like. And in a traditional world, people might say, well, Nick, doesn't he compete with you? No, not even a little bit, for two main reasons. One, I have love and respect for anyone trying to make a difference for solopreneurs and like these agency owners that I work with. So cool. We're 100% cool there. The other thing is our points of view are very different. And if you believe what he says and what he thinks in the direction, and you believe in the direction he's facing, great. You're probably not going to like working with me because I'm facing a different direction. So even though we both have the same output, a similar promise, like you will walk away with an offer, we have different ways of helping you get there and helping you build your business.
Yep.
And that's the point. That's the entire point.
Yeah. I get behind that entirely with, I'm just trying to play positive sum games, but like someone that we both know, who I will keep unnamed here. It's like, I keep this mentality with most people. It's like, yeah, if they are going to just be creating and trying to help solve this problem, it's like, awesome, go solve that problem. But then I see someone like this individual who's like, well, you're actually giving advice that could cripple a lot of businesses. And so like, maybe you shouldn't be giving advice on this. You should actually go do something else. But
I know I struggle with the same concept, and I take the same approach. Like, they're right for someone, and that I have released this idea that like some advice is bad. I might disagree with that advice, but someone else might agree with it, and that's okay. And that is also part of the whole deal. That's a different point of view. And is it like objectively bad? Like, I might think so, but again, if other people agree with it and believe in it, like who am I to say no? Like, because you're facing that direction. Like you're not looking. You don't want to grow the way that I think businesses should grow and the way that I help businesses grow. You don't see the problem the way that I see it.
Right.
Now, is that just a difference in marketing? Like, are these other people just, better marketers? Maybe. It's possible. Like some people are like, yes, you can be a better marketer. All of us have purchased things that suck because the person marketing it was really good at marketing.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like this is going to happen, but it's like I think the risk is on on both sides. Like if it sucks enough, the person selling it will probably not get super far
eventually.
So, and can get to keep selling a thing that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And you as a business owner, you assume the risk and of any hire you make in doing or any consultant you bring on. Like that's on us. And sometimes like that sucks. Like you got to vet them. And if you agreed with that, like there might be judgment issues here. I don't know. But I'm just saying, I think there's a lot more to it than this advice sucks and I disagree with it.
Yeah. I think with this individual, it's because I know the background and how he's jumping around to different offers just to see what sticks. But yes, I agree with almost all of that. Marketing is about creating certainty, right? With hey, this is going to work for you. Here, let me talk about my problem, like your problem. Let's talk about the process that we have to solve it. Let me give you the proof that this will work for you.
Yeah, I call it. It's a. I dropped this on. I remember the holiday, the Halloween.
Halloween
special you did, and we were chatting with our buddy Max Trailer, and he was like, you should write this book. The confidence in your competence. Like that's the whole play.
Mm-hmm.
Confidence in your competence. And if you can demonstrate that through your marketing, like that's the game. Like it's just, I wish, sometimes I wish there was other ways to do it. I think as time goes on, more and more like we are more saturated than ever in professional services providers. Mm-hmm. There might be more. I know there's more agencies selling to tech companies than there are tech companies. And I'm sure as high octane operators exit W-2 and move into solopreneurship and consulting, mm-hmm. like it's only going to get more crowded and more commodified. And you're going to see people giving advice we wouldn't give. And like that, hey, that makes it kind of makes it easier for the rest of us who are confident that we are confident people and that mm-hmm. our plays work. And to double down even deeper, the way that I see differentiation is like to the two parts of differentiation. One is the level of specificity you have in terms of like the problem you solve, who you solve for, how you solve it. But the other one is credibility, the volume of people you've helped. And so the more people you help, the more credible you become. And the more credible you become, the easier, like the less risk it is to hire you. Like so credibility is a huge factor here for sure.
Yeah. I did an article last week on all the different ways you can just, give more, or help accelerate the speed at which you're building trust. And it was like, there's so many other ways that you can be doing this. But one of the things, and I'm now curious, based on what I know about your business and stuff and what you coach, I'm noticing that a lot of people who are not successful at first, like they're having a hard time selling their initial offers, are also super hesitant to just lower their rates for the first people who are coming in the door. And for some reason, it doesn't sit right with me. Like I've had clients who don't have clients that they've gone through their own means yet, and they want to be charging like $10K out the door. But it's like, yeah, but what if you like cut that in half? Could you get enough clients that now you get the proof with those 2 or 3 clients that 10, like when you go to 10K, it's like, it's a no-brainer. People are like, yes, I see the proof and the results. I can execute on this. And then you can keep raising your rates. But it's like, they get so stuck on, I have to do this higher rate. Otherwise people aren't going to respect me or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, there's the, And I don't disagree with this mindset, like charge what you're worth, but I don't think anyone's considered that they're not worth what they're charging.
Yeah. There you go.
That's a shitty thing to accept, but sometimes it could be true. So I'll give you a simple example here. I lost a deal very early on when I got like in my own journey. When I first got started doing this work, I lost a deal to a really great fit client who really was like really into what I was doing. And he was like, "Hey, I'm not going to do it." And I emailed him back and I said, "Cool. Like, why?" And he was like, "Well, I love what you got going on. I believe it could work for me. But there's not enough proof for me. Like, it still feels too risky."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, okay." So credibility issue, right? Like social proof issue. I was
Mhm.
like, well, I'm never going to lose a deal because people don't think it's going to work for them ever again. And like overwhelming proof has been my like a part of the process ever since then. But from that moment, I said, okay, well, one, how do you get overwhelming proof, right? Like when you don't have enough paying people going through the process at a high enough rate
Mhm.
to do that. So a couple of things that I did that I encourage people to do, especially if you're really early on, I might not apply to like every single person out there, but do free calls in exchange for testimonials. Like the payment is a testimonial.
Mhm.
I can't stress that enough. Like just give away an hour and be like, hey, if you find this hour valuable, can you please tell me what you thought was valuable about it?
Mhm.
Boom, new testimonial, like proof, incredibility, like one step forward. Then, so we like that's from you were saying like don't charge 10, maybe charge 5. I'm saying like if you're really got nothing right now, go free. I was charging like $500 fucking dollars a month when I
Mhm.
first got started and trying to gain traction and build out my program. Because I didn't think it was worth more than that. The more you do it, the more you can charge. We charge 6K a month now.
Yep.
Like, so anyway, it's like, it's a glide path. And maybe I was undercharging a lot in the beginning. I don't know, but I'm fine with where we landed. I'm fine
Right.
with the process that we went through. And so all that to say is like, if if you can't close a deal, uh, in this sense tends to continue happening. Pricing is certainly one of the levers that you can pull to de-risk it. And this doesn't mean you go straight for a less mature buyer that's a bad fit. All it does is help manage risk. And
Mhm.
so there are plenty of ways to do that. And there's you're going to learn. This is one of the things I found out too, is like the reason I did the free work and the cheap work was because I'm going to learn just as much from my client about refining my own process as
Right.
they're going to learn from me taking them through the process.
Mhm.
Like there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
Even
That's worth a lot of money.
right. I mean, a model that I think we both used, like the Ascension model, bringing people in,
Yeah,
like it's another way to mitigate risk for the client, where
totally.
even separate from just the price, right? And so for anyone listening, you set a price like $500 a month, but for every 10K of net new revenue I help you bring in, my pay goes up another 500, right? So someone hits 10K, you're now at $1,000 a month, and you just keep working that with them. It builds more of a partnership. But there's also this underlying like, wow, they believe that they're going to be successful enough with my business that they're willing to take less pay now to have more upside later. And so like you're mitigating risk in another way. And it was, so, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
The ascension model works in like really specific circumstances. Like I saw a
Mhm.
post yesterday and I think you were on it. You commented on this thing too, where this guy was like, got quoted 60K a year for a social
Mhm.
media agency. And I proposed performance-based
Yeah.
pricing. We hit our goals. They make money. We exceed our goals. They make more money. And no one took our deal. Like, like why? And
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, well, this works on a really small closed loop basis.
Yep.
Like one consultant to a small agency where there's no question as to like where this money came from. If
Yeah.
you're a
I agree.
technology company and you can go out and go on a really popular podcast and you all of a sudden you get a ton of momentum from that and you hit your sales goal that quarter, in the social media agency is like, great, look, you guys hit your sales goal. And they're going to go, well, we went on this podcast and we're not going to pay you. Like there's a
Right.
lot of reasons why people are going to try and
Mhm.
fuck around with that model. I don't recommend it unless you're in like a really closed loop environment where there's very few variables.
Right. You need to be able to point to the attribution. And that's kind of what I brought up in that post, was like how you're talking to a social media agency and telling them their revenue, their pay is dependent on your sales targets. Like how many people are in between?
Just
Like
seeing
you
a
get
social media post.
one junior sales rep who just sucks at selling, and now that entire agency is not making money. Like it doesn't jive. But yeah, you can get close to the attribution, you're good.
But no, here's like the aha though. It's like, let's de-risk even if the intention like on you as a consultant is like, hey, I will try to create some upside here, but I will de-risk if I'm trying to like close more deals, let's de-risk the pricing model here to close some deals to get some more reps in on this thing, right? On whatever this service is that we're trying to do.
Yeah. So, yeah, lots we could probably still dive into, but I guess what's next for you?
What's next? Duo scaling. So Duo is the offer design and content creation agency, studio, we don't know, firm, whatever you want to call it. That I run with Erica Schneider. And so we're about to hit our initial capacity, like client capacity, which is cool. And so now it is full, like double down on like our existing standardization model, like works. And now it's how do we standardize even further, make results more reliable. We are adding in a new layer of automation to it to take off some the burden of work in between the conversations we're having or any of like the follow-up and stuff that we need to do, because that takes up a ton of our time and limits capacity. And then the delegation, trying to bring in key people, not to take over our front end, like client facing work, but some of the back end stuff, whatever we can't automate that still needs humans involved. We're figuring out where exactly those people need to be. So it's like the same stuff we run our clients through, trying to like drink our own whiskey in that way and continue to push the model and just refine the plan. So what's next? Hit capacity and then scale. So the goal is like, hey, can we take a little 2-person business past the 100K a month? I know we can do it. The question is how do we do it? And then not sacrifice quality. Not sacrifice our relationships, our integrity, all of those things that deeply matter. And again, glide path, not guillotine. You don't close another 50K in business tomorrow. This is a process over time. Like you hit capacity, we create the space, we close one more client. We hit the capacity, we create the space, we create and then we close the client. Things like that. So that's been a ton of fun. And then just continuing I host 2 podcasts. We publish monthly mini books. We got a lot going on.
Yeah. But all right, man. But you got the plan. I have zero doubt you guys are going to be able to achieve it. So, yeah, I guess with that, let's wrap it up. Where can people find you if they want to learn more, work with you?
The best place to find us right now is howsoloscale.com. That is, we do a weekly show showing how solos and micro agencies grow from about 20K a month to 65 plus per month. That's what the mini books are. All this is free. And then you can check us out at duoconsulting.co, where you can see what we do. And if you like it, the direction we're facing, you're facing that direction too, give us a ring. Tell us Chris Dubois sent you.
We'll give you 50% off.
We will not give you 50% off. We will mail Chris a mug. We don't have mugs yet, but I will make one and mail it to you if someone comes. I got a harness and hone hat like right before we made the decision to switch. Because originally, here's an insider, like a little insider tip or whatever, like just something to know. Originally, Erica was going to come on as a co-founder of Harness and Hone. And we were like both very like meh about that idea. It wasn't like, oh, Harness and Home is my baby and I don't want anyone involved with it. And Erica was like, it was just kind of like, this makes the most obvious, simple sense. And we started to make moves to do that. And then one day we were like, there's just something wrong about that. Like, it just was too me and it wasn't enough Erica, and it didn't feel right to like try and like rebrand the whole thing. And then we realized like it's Duo. And so we spun up that brand, built everything out. And so kind of like Harness and Hone is more of like the holding company that owns these media properties and these consulting offers and things like that. Right. So fun fact for you. So no, we don't have hats yet, but I'm working on it. I think we're going to do like the Richardson leather patch. I like those like embossed.
Yeah. I don't know where my partner hub hat is, but I'll send you a good one. I know someone who can make them.
Yeah, I got it. I liked the one I got. It was like the shape was not shapely for my head. I need like a really like low, what do they call them? Low crowns.
Sure.
You got a good crown for a nice deep hat, like a nice, you could wear a top hat easy. I couldn't pull it off.
Top hat? Yeah. All right.
I don't know. I mean,
let's wrap it from here. All right, man. Good chatting.
Good to see you, homie.
That's the show, everyone. You can leave a rating and review, or you can do something that benefits you. Click the link in the show notes to subscribe to Agency Forward on Substack. You'll get weekly content, resources, and links from around the internet to help you drive your agency forward.